Oh, now since we talking about out folks, let's get into this story about Patrik-Ian Polk. So I heard this story. I saw this. This was actually sent to me yesterday. Shout out to Gay Magazine. And I'm very much excited over the fact that, one of my favorite filmmakers, Patrik-Ian Polk, who has given us programs such as The Skinny with Jussie Smollett. Also, he does P Valley. He did Noah's Ark, of course, which I love that show. And what was it? Punks, which I never got I'm still mad to this day. I never had the opportunity to go see that in the theater. Friends of mine actually went to go see it at like the Quad. So they went to go see it at the time. I didn't get to go. I would have loved to have went. And this movie is like hard to find. But I happened to get a chance to finally see it, which of course, if you watch Punks, you could definitely see it's like this is the catalyst, the prelude to Noah's Ark, because it's like four best friends who are navigating life and love and all this other stuff in LA. Like it pretty much had that whole vibe. But I happened to actually finally got to watch it because it was on, I think it's on YouTube. Like if you look it up, the whole movie's up there. But this long in the tooth movie, Invisible Life, that we've been hearing about, I believe, for the past, it feels like 20 years, they've been talking about developing this movie. I remember at one point, I think Tracy Edmonds was in talks to produce the film. I don't know if she still is, but we'll go through the story but I just want to set everything up. But we were hearing so many stories about that. Yeah, Tracy Edmonds, who was Babyface's ex-wife, was supposed to be working on this film, never got off the ground. And now we're hearing Patrik-Ian Polk is getting his hands on it. It's going to bring Invisible Life based on the Elin Harris book. Is coming to the big screen. So shout out to Gay Magazine for this story where they had it here. So openly queer writer, producer, and director, I should say acclaimed as well, Patrik-Ian Polk, best known for his trailblazing TV series Noah's Ark, has announced that he will be directing a film adaptation of Invisible Life, the seminal novel by 10-time New York Times bestselling author Elin Harris. Polk shared the exclusive news during his sit-down conversation with the host of the Surface Level podcast, hosted by Jordan, Damon, and Tony, at their Surface Level live event at the Harlem Stage in New York on February 8th, 2025. See, now look, you see all these YouTubers and everything out here doing these live shows and events. I told you, and I'm putting it out in the universe because it will happen. That's a goal that I have next. Like, I would love to take Chris Avalon Unfiltered, kind of like what T.S. Madison's doing with Fag Talk, and same thing what they're doing with the Surface Level podcast, that I get to travel around the United States and possibly, not even possibly, and the world, and do a live taping of my show. We could probably have a moderator or whatever the case is, and I get up there and I just do me for how long I'll be doing it with an audience. And then I film it. And then we get to see it on YouTube and it gets to live in infamy. So so yeah, he revealed this at the Surface Level live event. Now, while discussing his upcoming projects, Polk revealed, one of the things that I'm working on is I'm going to be directing Invisible Life, the movie, the Elin Harris adaptation, so I'm very excited about it. Now, published in 1991, Invisible Life is a coming-of-age novel that tackled the then taboo subjects of bisexuality and the AIDS crisis. The book, along with its sequels in the Invisible Life trilogy, remains a cornerstone of LGBTQ plus literature, particularly within the Black community. Harris, who was openly homosexual, was celebrated for centering the experiences of gay and bisexual Black men in his work, opening doors for representation in mainstream publishing. Well, yeah, he definitely was, because I was not familiar with Elin Harris back in the day until I remember my friend who I was friends with. I was 12 and he was 11. Shamit, he was always like a big book reader. And I remember like in between reading a lot of the John Grisham books, he was reading a lot of Elin Harris. That's how I got introduced to him. And then I got introduced to James Earl Hardy, who is who created the whole B-Boy Blues franchise and beyond. And sidebar, I love this idea because we need more content pertaining to queer people of color, especially when we're talking about stuff with Elin Harris and a lot of his books, but also when are we getting the sequel to B-Boy Blues? I love the B-Boy Blues movie that was directed by Jussie Smollett. So I'm definitely hoping that we get more of that. Plus, I love that Patrik-Ian Polk is still, out here making his stuff. That he's not only catering to the straight people and their stuff, but like P Valley, even though P Valley is not all the way straight. They have their things that they put up in there. But I'm looking forward to P Valley the next season. When are we getting? Also, when are we getting? The reboot of revival of Noah's Ark. Then they said we're supposed to be coming out with that this year. They was talking about it was last year, so I'm hoping that we hurry up and get that soon as well. So yeah, now in 2021, I should say, Deadline reported that the Invisible Life trilogy was being adapted into a TV series at HBO, with playwright Harrison David Rivers attached as the screenwriter and executive producer. Proteus Spann, curator of the Lynn Harris brand, and Tracy Edmonds were also named as producers, with Spann's Proteus E2 Productions securing the IP rights for Harris's entire library catalog before his passing in 2009. A total of 16 books published between 1991 and 2010 were included in that acquisition. At this time, Gay Magazine has not confirmed if all previously announced producers and creatives remain attached to the project alongside Polk. Now, Polk's involvement in bringing Invisible Life to life, or to the big screen, I should say, marks a major milestone in LGBTQ plus storytelling in film, having made history with Noah's Ark, the first television series to focus on the lives of Black gay men. Polk's visionary storytelling continues to push the boundaries of representation. Now, with this adaptation, audiences will soon get to experience Harris's pioneering narrative in a whole new way, introducing a new generation to a novel that forever changed the landscape of Black LGBTQ plus literature and visibility. And what I also hope that this does is shines more light on Black queer content, or people who are of color that are creating content pertaining to our community. So I definitely am looking forward to seeing this. I hope, and I'll put it out in the universe, that I actually get an invite to the premiere or the screening, because I definitely want to see this movie so that way I can talk about it. I would also love to have Patrick come on this show and talk about the movie when it comes out, or the cast. Shit, I wouldn't even mind actually having a part in the dang movie. So I definitely want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think of this story regarding Patrik-Ian Polk taking on this film? I wanted to see if there was actual comments. I'm sure there was a lot of great comments in regards of, because I was like, let me go to Instagram real quick. I don't know why I didn't think of doing that the first time. And see what the people is saying in the comments before we wrap it up. So let's go to the comments and see what people are saying besides myself. One said, oh, DJ Baker said, oh, I can't wait. Been waiting for this all my gay life. Okay. Another person said, I'm excited for this. People slept on Lynn Harris. Those chronicles of books were fire. Another person said, I love this. All you young kids need to go read this book, or I can lend you my copy. Somebody said, do Basketball Jones. I bet that would be great. Gay Magazine said that will be iconic. Another person said, I've been wanting this for so long, but I'm also afraid. Please do it some justice. That book is a classic. Well, I think if Patrick is getting behind it, he'll definitely do it justice. Another person said, please, 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 Lord, I hope and pray it's better than B-Boy Blues. I'm such a fan of both writers. Another person said, Patrick would do us right. He understands Black gay culture. I wish he had done B-Boy Blues. So a lot of people are feeling like that they didn't like what Jussie Smollett did with B-Boy Blues. A lot of people feel that he should have took on B-Boy Blues. And who knows, maybe down the road we'll get another remake of B-Boy Blues, and somebody else will take it on, and we'll get, the movie that we want to get. I love the books. I will say this, I was more or less into the whole B-Boy Blues thing more so than Lynn Harris's books. But I did grow up in the 90s reading a lot of those books. So yeah, I definitely want to hear from you guys. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.